Are we getting a second stimulus check this year? Are we even getting one in January the 20th when we get a new administration coming in? So how is the government helping out those people in need against the invisible enemy? I will give you all the details in this video as it will affect your pocket. So stay tuned. Hey there, I'm Jaime Chicago and welcome to your personal finance, money, saving, investing, and coaching channel, The Foreigner in America, where I teach locals and foreigners everything that affects their pockets. So Americans are struggling today with unemployment, a lack of consistent income, debt, economy, uncertainty, and despair. We don't know what to expect. So Wall Street is rolling up and down like a roller coaster. But if you're not heavily invested in the markets today, guess what? You don't really care. What you care for is to put food on the table, pay your rent or mortgage, fill up your car with gas, and take care of your loved ones. But to do this, you need a source of income, either from an employment, like a job, a side hustle, a business, or investments, or just a combination of those. For those of you who rely 100% on a job, which is more than 60% of working Americans today, bad news happened since March till December of 2020 because of the invisible enemy. Many people lost their jobs and they have not been lucky to get a new one, or they got a reduction in their income. What is the government gonna do about this? Let me explain to you the information that has been around. So Congress is gonna get back to work to put together the budget for next year so they can prevent a government shutdown. That's their main concern right now. It's not the second stimulus check. They're thinking of adding a few stimulus into the negotiation.
But Jaime, we need a second stimulus check. $1,200 for 8 months is nothing.
Correct. The money that people received this year as the first stimulus check only lasted them for 1 month, the month they received it. That's the ugly truth. So President-elect Joe Biden supported a $3 trillion stimulus package back in May called the HEROES Act that sounded promising. The problem is that the Democratic Party needs approval from the Congress, and they need those seats in Georgia to do it. So that's why it's very important that we follow up on what's going to happen on January the 5th with those seats. Economists, they're arguing that giving out checks or direct deposits to families is, and this is a quote, one of the quickest, most equitable, and most effective ways to get family and the economy back on track, which I totally support. So what else are they talking about besides the second stimulus check? Let me give you each piece of information, and I will give you the information of the stimulus check at the end. So please stay with me until the end. So the first thing they're talking about is expanded unemployment benefits. There are 2 programs in place that will end in December. One program is the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, which allows self-employed to receive payments and also people taking care of ill family members or that haven't been able to work because of this pandemic. And the other program worth mentioning is the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation, which gives people an additional 13 weeks of payments when their 26 weeks run out. The question is, will the government provide additional funding to these 2 programs? Let's say run them 6 more months? Guess we will find out very soon. The second thing they're talking about is the student loans. So in March, the government suspended student loan payments without accruing any kind of interest. But this was set to expire in September, and it was expanded till the end of the year through an executive order. So this government needs to push that into January the 20th so that the new government takes over and helping students and former ones pay off their loans. The least you want to do is use the little money you have to pay off student loan debt. I mean, it's much better that you use it to buy food, to pay for your housing, or just to cover your family's needs. But remember, this is not student loan forgiveness.
Nope.
I wish I could give you such great news, but no. If you owe money on student loans, Stay sharp. The third thing they're talking about is evictions. So a provision came into life in September, and it will last until the end of the year, where evictions were not allowed for certain individuals that met income requirements or they asked for rental assistance to pay for their rents. There was another provision back in March where eviction was protected for renters that were in rental properties with federally backed financing or who received federal assistance programs. So if they don't get into an agreement, eviction will start taking place in January. And two things will happen. One, a lot of people will be on the streets. And two, property prices will drop.
But Jaime, I don't think this is going to happen. The government needs to protect homelessness and real estate prices.
I really hope, as a resident of this great country and as a human being, that this does not happen. And as a real estate investor like myself, I hope they also protect landlords with tenants that don't pay rent with any kind of assistance. So the last thing I want to be talking about before I go into the second stimulus check is family leave. What happened before is that lawmakers expanded family leave benefits for many workers who became ill or taking care of other family members. It provided 2 weeks of assisted family sick leave and an additional 10 weeks of expanded family paid benefits, but for workers of companies of under 500 people. The problem here is that the small business owners apply for waivers, affecting the workers that wanted to get those benefits. So now let's go into the second stimulus check, the bread and butter of this video. It seems to me that the timeline on when we're getting a second stimulus check is going to be most likely between January and February of next year. But it is getting very certain. The moment that bill goes into Congress, gets approved, and goes to the president to get signature, you can get a direct deposit in your account in as little as 7 days. But the amounts haven't changed. They are the same as of now. Let me remind you which are the amounts in case you forgot, because it was such a long time ago. It was $1,200 for a single member and $2,400 for a married couple. And also a $500 credit per dependent child under the age of 16. And the income requirements also stayed the same. $75,000 or less for a single person to get up to $1,200, or $150,000 or less for a couple to get the full $2,400. If you make more than that, you were prorated the amount up to the capped limit of $99,000 for a single person and $198,000 for a married couple. Once you reach those amounts, you will get nothing, or as I will say, nada.
Jaime, what is the specific change between the first check and the second stimulus check?
I'm glad that you asked. So the amounts are staying the same, $1,200 and $2,400, but the good thing is that they're proposing the $500 credit to be increased to $1,200 per family member. So this means that a family of 4 that once got $3,400 now might be eligible for $4,800. And this will cap on all the way to $6,000 per family. So a family of 5 will get the $6,000. Family of 6 or more will still get the same $6,000. And then other changes applied for people that were incarcerated could be eligible for a check. People who were out of the country for any reason or working can also get a check. Americans or residents with spouses with no social security number can also be eligible for a check. And the age of the dependents could go up from age 16 to age 21 to help more parents paying for college. But remember, all these need to be approved by Congress. So it's very important to see what will happen with the seats in Georgia this upcoming January the 5th. And wait a minute, I haven't finished. There is yet another provision that they're talking about. It's getting a lot of traction, which is to just give $2,000 per month to every single American starting January until the pandemic is over.
But Jaime, this is insane. Why don't you just give $1 million to everyone and then everyone will be rich and there will be no problems?
The government needs to take care of their spending. And the solution or the remedy cannot be worse than the actual problem. One thing is to help out people in need, And another whole different story is to change a person's life around for free. Remember, we need to take care of one thing, which is inflation. So honestly, I don't think this will be approved. Now let me give you the foreigner insight for this video. And this will be very blunt and direct one. Very interesting for you as a foreigner, and as a local, stay with me because you might learn something that you might get to impress your friends in conversation. If you're a foreigner in this country, you only have one of two immigration statuses. Either you're legal or you're illegal. If you're illegal, you're not gonna get anything out of this government, period. If you're legal, then you go into two different categories. People that own a social security number and people that do not own a social security number. Why is this important, you might ask? Because if you own a social security number and you meet the income requirements, then you're gonna get the second stimulus check for sure. If you do not own a social security number, unless the bill changes, which hasn't changed yet, you're not gonna get anything out of this second stimulus check. But if you're married, filing jointly, and one of the two do not own a social security number, then you're not gonna get anything either. Doesn't matter which visa you have or which situation you are in. It just matters whether or not you own a social security number. And one more thing that is very important. If you currently own a social security number, either you, your spouse, or your kids, but you did not have one back when you filed your taxes, the government is going to take that filing into account so that you will not get any kind of benefit either. So make sure you stay tuned with the latest news about foreigners and social security numbers and the changes in the bill. Make sure you follow my content because I will definitely keep you posted. If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any one of my weekly videos. Remember, I will be posting twice a week starting next year. And make sure you check out my new book, A Foreigner in America Can Succeed. You can download it in the link below for the price of a latte. So until then, I'll see you next time.